So today we are going to be writing a book. I have been working on this book for maybe a year now. Part of my 1 year goal is to every month take a week and dedicate it to writing this book. Now, this book is very, very important. It is about my grandmother-in-law, my wife's grandmother, and we are trying to write her memoir. Her life story is nuts. She was born in Poland during World War II. And if you know anything about Poland during World War II, it's not good. I'm writing kind of a Little House on the Prairie style memoir, if you want to call it that, that's going to discuss her life, that's going to put it out there for other people to realize, like, hey, this event that happened in history, yeah, it happened to real people. I also want to humanize some of the elements within World War II. You know, sometimes we hear about the German army, we hear about how ruthless they were, and they were, don't get me wrong, and we hear about the Nazis who were very, very bad and had a very, very bad ideology, and one that I do not support. But we also know that not every single person fighting on the German side was all horrible and evil and terrible and no good and very bad. Just as we know that not everybody who was fighting on the good side was a good person. So I want to humanize that element of it. I want to show the stories that my grandmother-in-law, we call her Babsha, was telling us about the German commanders, the German officers who hung out in their village and who were actually very kind to her in particular, who played with her when she was a little girl because they missed their families back home. And so I really want to humanize those elements and humanize our enemies a little bit and recognize that sometimes you just get put in a weird situation. That's what we're doing today. Hope you'll join me for the adventure. So I've been writing for a little while. It's been going okay. And I want to finish the story by the end of the year. So if I'm going to do that, I need to write about 4,800 words every single time I do this. So once a month, 4,800 words. Right now, I'm at about 5,200. 5,100, something like that. So I'm a little ahead of the game. I'm going to post this story for you. You're going to be able to read in real time what I'm doing to the story. I'm not putting this out because I want people to critique it or to read it and provide feedback for it. I'm mostly putting it out there so that way you have an opportunity to see a story getting written in real time. I was thinking about this today. There are videos out there showing from start to finish how to paint a painting, how to do a sculpture, how to woodwork, how to make a video, how to make a song. And what's interesting is for years, artists were very, very protective of their art form. They wouldn't share the process going from completely unfinished to completely finished. Then YouTube came around. And we all of a sudden had this renaissance where people are now not just showing their completed work, but they're showing how they got to their completed work. And what this has done is it's afforded people like me who are terrible at making anything, the ability to copy that and make more of it, make more art, make better things. I haven't seen that for books. I haven't seen somebody putting out every time they write the completed project that they did, because they're very protective of what they're making. I'm going to share that unfinished product with you. There are definitely things in there right now that will not be in the finished product, but I'm leaving those things in there now because I know that it's going to be helpful for people to see a project getting worked on so that they can go work on their projects, get more ideas, get things that they otherwise wouldn't. That's how I've been blessed with YouTube, being able to watch the Peter McKinnons, the Mr. Beasts, going back to PBS, watching the Bob Rosses, watching people perfect their art. I want to share that every month with you when I work on this book. It's going to be rough. It's going to be hard. It's going to be time consuming. And you know what? There are going to be times where I want to give up. But I love my grandmother-in-law. I love Babsha enough to keep on working on this project. Get it done. Share her story, which is a story about a crazy, wild life that represents God and represents God's provision. And I think that's important, and I want to share that with the world. So I'm going to write it.